Hello and welcome. Today we are ranking all the maps in Hell Let Loose before Tobruk. I made the list public so you can make your own tier lists and you can discuss them afterwards in the comment section. So the link is in the description. We start how they're ordered here and let's go. So Carentan first. Carentan is a very known map. It's one of the most played ones, I believe. I love it because it has everything. It has a big city where you can really push through, but it has open sections as well. So it's a pretty solid A tier for me. I know a lot of people don't really like Driel, but in my opinion, it's very fun. On the infantry side, the British are very underwhelming, but I always have good matches on Driel, so I like it, but because the majority will probably not agree with me, I only put it in B tier. Same goes for El Alamein. I love the balance of the map because it's only bolt action pretty much, otherwise than the machine guns and the submachine guns. But it's still a very fun map, but it is kind of mid because the south side is pretty much unplayable. Only the mid and the north side are playable, so it gets a C tier for me. Elsenborn Ridge is a beautiful map, but from a infantry player perspective, it is a complete disaster. You can play around the mid cap, the east cap and the west cap are completely unplayable for the American side if you don't get it right away. So it is a rough design, so it gets a D tier. Fight me on that. Okay, Foy. Foy is, I don't know, I like the night version more than the day version, but it is still a pretty much only armored favored map. From an infantry perspective, you have very little routes to go from, and I don't really like that. I hate maps that can only be played by tanks and not by infantry, so it gets a D tier as well. Hill 400, I hate forest maps, you know that. Same with Hurtgen, but we will come to that. Hill 400 is like, it is very playable from an infantry perspective as well, but the routes for the Germans are so bad that it only gets a C tier for me. Hurtgen Forest is the same as Hill, but the routes are kind of funny because you can get sniped from the German side on the east side and on the American side from the west side. So it kind of balances things because the off drop is horrendous on these sides for the particular faction. I don't know if I changed things up, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. But it is better than Hill in my opinion. I like the fights there a lot more, so it gets a B tier for me. Kharkov is just the same as Foy. Pretty much nothing else, like it's only armored warfare again besides the cities. But if you have the city and push the enemies out, like they've pretty much zero chance at getting in again, so it gets a D tier for me as well. Like Foy. Kursk is, in my opinion, a very fun map because it has so many routes through the trenches, and I love trench fighting. I really love the map, but it can be very rough if you get pushed out of certain points. But you can kind of always come back from the trenches, so it definitely gets a B tier for me. Ortain, it is a very beautiful map, like Elsenborn Ridge, but the gameplay on it is just horrendous. Like you get camped from pretty much every bush. No other map is that campy, and for that it gets definitely a D tier. Omaha Beach is very cool that they added the warfare mode there. I love the map. I think it's one of the best maps. It gets an S tier for me. I don't care, fight me on that. I think a lot of people put it in an A, but it is, in my opinion, one of the best maps by far. Purple Heart Lane, it is kind of rough. Like, it is pretty much only about the street in the middle, and when the points are not in the middle, you have to kind of go through extremely large fields with zero cover. You can still drown a lot. I don't like that, and it is just not good for infantry players, only for armor players, so it is a D tier as well. Remagen, I can say nothing good about Remagen. It is the worst map they ever created. I don't believe how they added this the way it is. Like if it has something like Driel where you can drive through, or maybe there are boats that travel through that get armor or certain players on the other side. I don't know how to fix it. Like they have to add some boats or something, but it is horrendous to play. It is definitely F tier. Sommery du Mans. I mean, the people who follow me already know Sommery du Mans is my most favorite map. I always have good games there. I love the map. It is by far the best map. It hooked me into Hell Let Loose when I first played it, but they sadly removed the old Sommery du Mans. But the new one is also alright. Not as good as the old one, but also alright, and I just love the map. It is so good. S tier for me. Best map in the game by far. Sommery Egli is kind of like Sommery Dimon, but it is a little bit worse in my opinion. I don't know why, it just feels like it, so I can't really give it an S. I don't like it as much as Omaha Beach, maybe because I played Sommery Egli so much. I don't know, it's just my personal preference, but I have to give it an A. Stalingrad is or would be a wonderful map, but as you all know, it's so open. It's not a city map, it's like nearly open fields with zero cover throughout the train section and all of that. You can get camped from 50 billion angles. I don't really like it, and the performance is very, very rough, so it gets a D tier as well. Utah Beach, also a very, very nice map. I really like it, like you can really play around the attacking points, but it would be an S tier, but on certain points I don't like how you can run to them, so you have to wide flank through like edge of map to get a good OP sometimes, so it doesn't get an S tier, it has to be an A tier. Okay, now we order the maps, so Sommery Dimon definitely goes in first, followed by Omaha Beach. I like Utah a bit more than Sommery Egli, and Carentan more than both of them. Driel, Kursk and Hurtgen Forest are aligned. I like how I like Driel more than Kursk and Hurtgen Forest, and Kursk more than Hurtgen. El Alamein and Hill 400, they're also pretty decent. Like they are right now, I like El Alamein definitely more than Hill. Stalingrad definitely goes first here on the D tier, and then it's just a free fall. They're kinda all bad. In a way, I don't like to play anything in this list, so I think I go Stalingrad D tier and put it before Hill. Yeah, I should have done that before, but Stalingrad definitely goes before Hill 400. I like it more. Elsenborn Ridge, Foy, Kharkov, Mortain, Purplat Lane, they don't have an order. I hate the maps like they are. Like every map equally, and yeah, Remagen deserves F tier, like it is so trash. So I hope you enjoyed. As I said, the thing is public, or the tier maker list is public, and you can make your own tier lists. You can discuss it in the comments. Have a wonderful morning, day or evening, and we see us in the next one. Have a good one, bye bye, thank you for watching.